The Sinn U2 EZM5 is tested to a full 200 ATM. That is 2,000 meters. Yes, this watch is tested to withstand water pressure at a full 2 kilometers underwater, even though we technically can't. And whilst there, it will show the local time in Frankfurt if you wish. But what's it like on dry land? Stay with us to find out. Living in Australia, snorkeling and diving is in our blood. Taking a deep breath and diving down to see what's hiding under the coral is a fun thing to do. If you've done this yourself, you know what it does to your ears. One of the first things you have to master when learning how to dive, even a couple of meters down, is the skill of equalizing the pressure in your ears. Imagine then what kind of engineering has to go into a device that can withstand such pressure. Picking up this timepiece for the first time, it makes an immediate impression. It's solid as a rock, yet despite its dimension, wears very well on the wrist. Whilst this is subjective, of course, you instantly feel like you're equipped to go wreck diving. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's start with the dial. In my opinion, this is one of the best examples of legibility and functionality dictating design. The red, white and black contrast with each other very well, making the dial extremely easy to see in all conditions. The large white sword hands in combination with the white on black minute markers stand out in any lighting conditions. The lume here is on the discreet side, not blinding, but long lasting throughout the night, or your dive. The red seconds hand has a white section near the tip, which is also coated in superluminova, ensuring visibility in the cinema or if you happen to be photographing sharks on a night dive. The black and red fourth hand indicates time on an inner circle marked from 1 to 24, so at a glance you can see the time in another time zone. What is interesting is that these red details disappear in the deep blue, allowing the white luminous markers to take precedence, because really all that matters on a dive is measuring how long you've been underwater. Finally, on the dial, we have a barely visible AR symbol. The AR indicates that the watch is filled with protective argon gas filling. A very real-world effect here is a watch that won't fog up going from warm to cold to warm environments. Underneath the Sinn logo, you'll find possibly the most German-sounding word you could imagine, Einsatzzeitmesser. It means mission timer, indicating that it's part of Sinn's EZM range, devoted to specific missions such as fire rescue, medical first response, and in this case, dive missions. Finally, blacked out around the 6 PM position, there's a beautifully understated mark of quality, made in Germany. At the 6 o'clock position, there's an interesting detail. It's a copper sulfate filled capsule. There are 3 of these capsules built into the watch, but only one is visible at the 6 o'clock position. Over time, these capsules will gradually turn dark blue, indicating that humidity has been absorbed. The primary benefit to these copper sulfate filled capsules is a more dry and stable environment for both the movement and the lubricating oils. Together with Sinn's inert gas treatment, these capsules form the basis of Sinn's dry hold dehumidification technology. Now, let's take a look at the unidirectional diver's bezel on the U2 because it's quite interesting. It is very easy to turn, handy if you're wearing diving gloves. It's designed to be easily manipulated and will therefore move freely in one direction only, anti-clockwise. As you turn it, it may appear to miss the minute mark that you're aiming for, but what is actually happening here is that it snaps back to the exact place where you were aiming for. What is also notable is the captive bezel design. you'll notice small screws on the side of the bezel. These hold it in place, which means that unlike any other watch with a standard design bezel, this one will not snap off if caught on a seatbelt or tangled up in diving equipment. Within the bezel, we have a sapphire crystal that is no less than 4.2mm thick. This means that you get some lovely but very subtle distortions at an angle due to the sheer thickness of it. The thickness also ensures the extreme pressure resistance of the U2. There's also, hands down, some of the best anti-reflective coating you'll ever see. It's applied on the inside and the outside of the sapphire for optimum effect. Whether you have the sun at an angle, torches, screens, you name it, you'll never struggle to tell the time because of reflection issues. Turning the watch over, we find a large U2 logo in the middle of the caseback, model number, more awesome German words stating resistance to seawater, and one in particular that is very interesting, Deutsche U-Boot-Stahl. Yep, the watch is made from the same material used in the construction of the outer hull of German submarines. It's further hardened up to 1200 Vickers, around 5 times harder than standard steel, as part of Sinn's proprietary tetrametered process. This is one black watch that is likely to stay black for a very long time. There are various strap options available from Sinn. The one we can see here is a Sinn H-Link bracelet. The black option has the same tetrametered process steel before the black DLC coating is applied, thus ensuring a faster holding and longer lasting bond. There are 3 links on either side with thick hex screws that will likely to never wear out, and the tools to change them are included with this band option. We have to say it's a fantastic bracelet. The clasp, however, is slightly thinner, with a fold-over safety catch and easy to access diving extension. I suppose the good thing with the thinness is that you can actually wear the watch whilst desk diving. There are also a further 3 micro adjustments within the clasp, so you should be able to achieve a good fit. The clasp is signed with the Sinn and EZM logo. Is it really necessary to own and wear a watch like this? Well, is it necessary to drive a Porsche 911 that you'll never push to its limits? Obviously, the answer to both of these questions is yes, because you buy these things with your brain and your heart. I will never dive to even a fraction of the depth that this watch can withstand, but we love the effort that's gone into achieving such a hugely impressive and highly functional piece of professional diving equipment. We love the GMT function, the extreme scratch resistance that will ensure that the watch will in fact stay black, the awesome AR dehumidification tech, and so much more. This timepiece is built for adventure to push humans beyond our comfort zones. Perhaps you will never test this watch to its limits, but you will be mission ready if you ever have to. Further details and prices for this watch can be found on Time Only, the authorized Sinn dealer